Hello, everyone. Tonight is July 31st, 2016, 7:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I see everybody's coming in and getting ready for tonight's monthly Ubuntu Planet USA collaboration meeting. Hopefully you can hear me broadcasting okay. It's showing that I'm live. If someone could just give me an indication that we're doing good, that you can hear us, that would be fantastic. Welcome, Vicki, to your first meeting. I hope you enjoy it. I know we all are energized after these meetings. So hopefully I'm coming through okay. Awesome. Okay, I think those yeses are for us. All right, so I'm going to share the agenda that we have tonight. We're using a Word document to kind of go through some of our agenda items, and then we're going to just be hopping back and forth to talk about each of these things. So here we go. I'm going to start off with star. Oops, that's not what I want to share. Sorry. Let me pull this up. That's for later. Let's try this one more time. Oops, that's not it either.
So while Allison is getting us started with posting up the agenda, I'm going to go ahead and talk about something that is not on the agenda that I wanted to announce to everybody. Amanda Ray, who was serving as our social media ambassador, started a 10,000 likes campaign on our Facebook page, and as of yesterday, we have officially crossed the 10,000 likes mark and have over, I think it's 10,200 or something like that on our Facebook page. So we're really excited about that. We have lots of followers. Lots of people seem to be very active on the Facebook page. So feel free to post on that page or to ask questions. If you have questions, that's a great way to reach us.
10,000 people, yay.
Still having trouble, Allison?
I think I got it. I think I got it.
There we go. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take it away if that's okay with everybody.
Please do.
Okay, great. So I wanted to start by making some introductions. In the time between meetings, we almost always gain new team members. We're being contacted every single day with people who are interested in taking a part in the movement or being of service to Ubuntu. And so we've had a few people join our core team that I wanted to announce this evening. The first is Eric DuPont, who is joining us as a new science and technology advisor. We're very excited about his involvement. The science and technology team, led by Ed, is really taking off, and they've been hosting their own separate meetings. Also speaking with Mike Waters and Eric Murakami. And so we're getting in touch with some of the leading edge scientists who are focused on the free energy efforts. And so if you're interested in joining or being a part of that, feel free to reach out to us or to reach out to Ed directly to be a part of that part of the movement. So I just wanted to announce that Eric is now a member of the core team. Also, Brandon Shelton, he's joining us as the new fundraising ambassador, and he has many ideas about how to raise funds for Ubuntu. We have lots and lots of inspired ideas as a team, and of course, in this day and age, money is necessary to get us to the point of not needing money. So we have to play by the rules of the game in the game that we exist in now, and unfortunately that does involve money. So we're very, very excited to have Brandon on board. He's got lots of ideas about how to raise funds for Ubuntu so that we can hold more events, more festivals, more seminars, and really start putting money into some of the communities that are forming across the nation. So we're very excited to have him aboard. And then I wasn't sure if I mentioned at the last meeting, Myra Jackson, she's joining us. She is a permanent representative with the United Nations, and she has joined the Ubuntu movement, the Ubuntu USA movement, and is interested in assisting us to form a council of guiding elders and to really lay out the energetic platform for Ubuntu to come into manifestation in this country. We're very, very excited to have her as part of the team. Myra is full of wisdom and insight and is, directly connected to that infinite source of intelligence, as we all are. She just is particularly skilled at doing so, and will be doing that for us on the Ubuntu team to help guide us and to help us make decisions. And so we're very, very excited to have her as part of our team. So moving down the meeting agenda, I wanted to talk briefly about the write-in candidates. I'm not sure if I think Rebecca is still on vacation. Do you know, Allison, if Rebecca, I think she's still out of the area right now, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe she presented all weekend. So if you are here, Rebecca, I can make you a presenter quickly and we can come back to that. But I'm pretty sure she might be traveling today.
Okay, that's what I thought. So Rebecca Gretz is overseeing all of the write-in candidates. We have over 40 write-in candidates who have expressed an interest in serving as a candidate in their local area for Ubuntu. And Allison and I and Rebecca had a meeting with Michael Tallinger. I think it was last week. I've sort of lost track of time and all the different meetings that I'm involved in. And Michael shared his experience with us about his journey through the South African elections. And he believes that it will be best for us to focus at a local level and to focus on local elections such as mayoral positions, and that trying to get into some of the upper level political positions is not going to be the best approach to integrate Ubuntu into this country. And so that's what we're going to be doing with these write-in candidates. And anyone else who's interested in joining and potentially running for local office in your community, please feel free to reach out to us. We're going to be providing guidance to you. Michael Tellinger is going to be providing direct trainings of how to present Ubuntu and how to raise awareness in your local community. And we're hoping to have several people running for positions for elections in the fall. But we're very excited about that. That's going to be a large part of the movement as we move forward over the next few months. And so if you're one of those individuals who has stepped up and offered your willingness or your service to the movement as a write-in candidate, we really appreciate you, and we're very excited to work with you and to help you get the message out into your local community about Ubuntu and about the position that you are running for in your community. So at the next meeting, I'll have Rebecca Gretz jump on, and she'll talk to you about where we're at in that process. And thank you, Allison. Allison just posted Rebecca's email. So if you have a specific interest in being a write-in candidate or just want to know more about it, you can email her at rebgretz@gmail.com, and she can talk to you a little bit about that. And we're happy to help you out along the way, to help you to identify open positions in your local area, and to help you to have presentation materials and things like that for raising awareness of Ubuntu. So you wouldn't be alone in the journey, and if you're interested, like I said, reach out to Rebecca, and we'll have her come on and share at the next meeting that we have. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the podcast. So we're in the process of getting the Ubuntu podcast up and running. And Jessica is heading up our podcast, and she was not able to be here today either, but has left me with a message that she'd like me to read to everybody, just to let everybody know. The podcast has been laid out by Jessica. She's done an amazing job setting up some of the initial format and the content for the podcast. And now we're looking for people who might be interested in participating in either being a host or being a guest and being able to come in and talk about Ubuntu or some of the movements or some of the specific areas of interest within Ubuntu, like technology or free energy or healthcare or education. So we welcome anybody who might feel inspired to step up and be involved. So I'm just going to read Jessica's email here really quickly. It should only take about 3 or 4 minutes. And she just wanted everybody to know a little bit about her and a little bit about what her intentions are for the podcast. So Jessica says, hi everyone. I'd planned to present tonight, but I'd had a family vacation plan change on me, so I'll have to pop in next time to introduce myself formally. Today I've asked Star to read this update regarding the first Ubuntu podcast. I wanted to start off telling you a little bit about myself. My name is Jessica Neiman. I'm 22 years old. I discovered my passion for sound when I was in high school running the soundboard for the musicals and assemblies. From then on, I knew I wanted to spend my life helping good people be heard and share their stories. I went to a trade school specifically for audio engineering and met my husband there. We're both audio nerds. I have a little boy and another baby due this upcoming January. After I graduated from audio school, I went to work at the largest production company in the world, PRG Las Vegas. There, I was the assistant to the operations manager. I designed lighting, audio, and video systems to teach people about large-scale live productions. I ended up quitting on good terms because it was very taxing of my time and energy. But in wanting to keep my audio skills at hand, I got into podcasts and produced A Little Brighter podcast, where we interview people about their hobbies and why they do them. And that show holds a special place in my heart. Now, let's get to the cool stuff, Ubuntu. When I read Michael Tellinger's book, it resonated with my heart because it allowed everyone to have the opportunity to do their hobbies and share their natural gifts. I also resonate with all his research on sound and how kick bleep it is. In all seriousness, though, I'm currently obsessed with sucking up all the information I can get regarding forgotten acoustic technologies, and as everybody knows, that's something that Michael is very interested in. So Jessica says, let's talk about the podcast. I decided for the first podcast that we'd like it to be an educational podcast. The podcast will be split up into seasons, 10 episodes, each released weekly, 2.5 months, and then a 2-month break between seasons. The whole objective is to help people see contributionism as a real, obtainable option for their lives, to get everyone on the same page of the system sucks or the system's broken and we need a new option. I wanted the first season to cover the main crimes against humanity. Each episode will cover one specific topic. We have our main host for every single episode, and we'll bring in a guest expert to interview and discuss their topic. These are going to be really heavy topics, so it's vital that we end each episode with how the Ubuntu USA movement is dealing with these issues and give the listener ideas to implement contributionism into their lives and in their community. Like Michael said, working from the top down and the bottom up. After the first season is over, we can transition the podcast to cover topics like free energy devices, community gardens, healing techniques, etc. The topics are endless as people's passions in life, and that's what I love. So to pull off this podcast, I'm needing to put together a team to help me. I'm looking for a charismatic, passionate host. I'm looking for a content mentor, someone wise with a lot more knowledge and experience than me to put together questions and research episode topics with the host and myself. They will also write the show notes for every episode. I need an expert to find the guests for the show and schedule an interview with them. They will be the main contact for our lovely guests. I need a media guru once we get the podcast launched to be posting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ubuntu Planet a couple times a week, answer questions, and interact with our wild fans. Ha! They will also manage the pictures for the podcast website so people can see pictures or videos of the guests and what they or we are doing. Finally, I need a Padawan editor. I'm going to be doing the audio editing for the show, but I would like additional help if anyone has protocols and the skills. I can mentor this person so they know exactly what I'm listening for. I will need to be able to have a weekly meeting with my team to make sure things are running smoothly. She says, as a side note, if she ends up moving to Vermont, I plan to do a separate weekly podcast following their whole story of getting the community up and running, but that's still in the idea stages. My husband would help me be able to edit and manage the podcast since he wouldn't be working full-time. So to wrap things up, I am thrilled about manifesting this podcast. Our podcast will be free for everyone to listen to. Our listeners don't have to actively search out, read, or pay for information on contributionism. We'll be able to touch more hearts this way. And having the variety guest experts backing Ubuntu up is priceless. Together we can document and share this amazing story, the story of Ubuntu USA. In residence, Jessica Neiman. So I apologize that Jessica could not be here this evening. She had a last-minute change of plans with her family, but she's very, very excited about the launching of the podcast. I think it's an excellent opportunity for people to get the word out, for people to understand what contributionism is, how it functions, and how we're going to begin integrating it into the American consciousness. So if you're interested or you feel inspired to be a part of this, please reach out to us. And you can reach out specifically to Jessica at Jessica, which is JESIKA .graf, GRAF, @gmail.com. So if you feel inspired, please reach out to her and let her know that you're interested in taking part in the evolution of our podcast. We're hoping to get that up and running as soon as possible. I also wanted to make note about her comments on the documentation of the Vermont community. That's something that we definitely want to do. We definitely want to document the evolution of the first sacred site of Ubuntu in the United States, which is going to be in Bolton Valley, Vermont. Michael is going to be coming there in September, the weekend of September 30th, to help us set intentions for the evolution of the community. And I'm going to let Susan talk a little bit more about that later. But we'll definitely be documenting that journey, hopefully by podcast, by video, and by other means, so that everybody knows about what's happening in Vermont, how it's happening, and how you can apply that to your local community if you feel inspired. So, so the next thing is, I think I'll save the Bolton Valley update, and I'll let you, Susan, talk a little bit about that when we talk about the events in New York that Michael's going to be speaking at. And I want to speak very briefly about the Ubuntu USA mobile update. So as many of you know, we've recently launched Ubuntu USA Mobile, and we're doing very well. It's a new technology that Michael Tellinger is very excited about, because he feels like not only will it be of service to the people, but it will also be an opportunity to provide abundance and prosperity to those of us who are interested in participating, to be able to reduce some of the hours that we have in our traditional matrix type employment positions. So this is a brand new technology. It's a new type of cell phone network that's run on a 5 gigahertz spectrum, which is different from 4G or even 5G. It's not 5G, it's 5 gigahertz, and it's much safer for the body. It's also encrypted, so it's protected. It's much more secure than a traditional cell phone network. And you create the signal through the space station technology that's provided with the cell phones. So if you're interested in that, check it out. We have an Ubuntu USA Mobile Facebook page where there are some videos posted and information about meetings that we have meetings about once a week where we just explain what the technology is and how it works. And so feel free to check that out and to join us if that resonates with you. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to Susan here and have her talk. We have very exciting announcements about the fall, and Michael is coming from South Africa to visit several places within the United States here, and so I want to have Susan talk a little bit about what we have planned so far.
Okay, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
You're good to go, Susan.
I think she doesn't realize she just muted herself again.
Hi again. Better? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Hello.
Okay, good. All right. So, you know, I wanted to meet Michael Tellinger last year, the year before. I didn't get out to California, so, you know, I had no idea that at this time, you know, I'd be Skyping him and preparing for his visit to New York and that I'd be involved with that. So it's really in the realm of the miraculous, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity and to share this journey with you all. So yes, as busy as Michael is right now with the elections in South Africa, he is committed to being in New York City maybe a day or two before September 16th. September 16th, Michael will be at the Open Center in New York City. And the Open Center is actually the Center for Holistic Learning and World Culture and Environmental Studies and everything that we're doing here. So we're very, very fortunate that we got in just on time. And if all goes well according to plan, I know there are a few of us here who've been working very hard on the write-ups for this. Because this particular evening with Michael Tellinger, he'll be in New York City for 3 hours, sharing on Ubuntu philosophy put into action, contributionism, the whole kit and caboodle. It's going to be a consciousness-raising unity experience. I can't wait. I've been waiting for this. So that's going to be at the Open Center, downtown New York, on September 16th. And I understand there could be more than 100 people on this call, so I'm very curious if any of you are from New York City, or if you have friends or family in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut region who'd be interested in joining, or even assisting me in some of this. So, you know, we'll give out my email too at the end. That's September 16th. Now, I'm also waiting to hear there's a possibility that Michael will still be participating in a service. It's a prayer service at the United Nations, and that's happening in the early afternoon of that day. And it's still open to his coming, so I'm going to find out about that soon. On September 18th, Michael is definitely going to be at Central Park. And let's see, Allison, do you have that flyer I sent you?
Yep, let me see if I can switch over to that now.
Okay. This is called the Vigil for Peace and Ecology, and Michael is going to be one of the speakers. He will not speak for very long. This is more about music. So everyone who's, you know, passionate about the sound and music, he's going to be performing and speaking on his own, but with others as well. So this is in Central Park in New York on September 18th. That's Sunday, the 18th.
I think I'm sharing the wrong one. I'm sorry. Sorry. Let me go back to the other one.
Well, if you have the other one, that's okay, because on September 25th, which is a week later, Michael, and I spoke with her tonight, a woman by the name of Victoria, is actually heading up the International Day of Peace event. It's done in New York City at the UN, but this year it's happening at the Wainwright House in Writein, New York. And a flyer was made. It's not the actual flyer. It's a flyer that Allison is trying very hard to put up. But I just sent her the media kit, so we'll have a different photograph and a short bio in there. Michael will be one of 3 speakers. So again, very, very exciting that he'll be, featured at this event for the International Day of Peace. And then from September 11th through the 21st, which is September 11th, of course, to the 21st, which is the official International Day of Peace, I'm also on a committee with Rick Ulfik of the 11 Days of Global Unity, and I worked with him in 2004 to produce this. But I have a little bit of good news, Star. I didn't get to tell you this yet, but a big organization by the name of Peace Jam Project, is going to be promoting the 11 days also, and it's called 1 Billion Acts of Peace, and they're sending it out to 1 million of their own list. So Michael Tellinger and this Ubuntu movement that we're all participating in will be the lead of the economic part of the 11 days. There are 11 themes, and economic justice is one of those themes. So it's very, very exciting that we are representing that theme for the 11 Days of Global Unity this year. And that's a global event. It'll be on the Shift Network. Rick Ulfik is going to have Michael Tellinger on a radio program for the 11 days, as well as David Steinfeld in New York City. He'll be on a show called New Realities. So that's New York. I have a feeling we'll be filling in a few dates with some other spontaneous events as they unfold. We still have time to put that together, but those are all definite. He will be in New York. And from New York, I'm still working on booking him in a place called the Arlo Guthrie Center. Guthrie, this was in the movie with the church, the original church, and they have speakers there, so I happen to know the folks there. I'm trying to book Michael there on his way out of New York. And then looking into a couple of colleges as well. And then bringing him into Bennington, Vermont, where there'll be an informal meet and greet with an interfaith council, a peace council. Various councils are wanting to meet him here. And then we're headed up to Burlington and the Bolton Valley. And there'll be 3 days there at least. 3 days. Friday, September 30th, we'll have a meet and greet and a dinner. And maybe this is where, Star, we could create that dinner fundraiser for him. We'll talk about that. But to have a wonderful dinner, music, a real welcoming, because there are many, many people in Vermont and in Bolton Valley and Burlington that want to participate now in a contributionism community, and that's why this is happening. So this Friday night we'll all gather. You are all invited, but we'll talk about that. It's going to be a big event. And then Saturday he'll have an all-day workshop. So we haven't found out from Michael, it'll be just a full workshop on Ubuntu and the contributionism and how to move forward in community, locally, regionally, nationally, globally. That's the way I see it for all of us. So how exciting is that? And then Sunday we're going to be working on an actual festival. And we have a lot of work to do there, but it's going to come together. I already participated in an event up there, and they're masterful and wonderful and passionate about this work, the movement, music, arts. It's just going to come together. So also, I'm not forgetting, I really hope and pray that we can connect with Bernie Sanders along the way here. So I'm going to start working on that with in a good way, I'll say, in a good way, this week. And if any of you have connections to Bernie himself, Bernie lives in Burlington. It's only 20 minutes away, I understand, from Bolton Valley. So I think we can make this happen, and wouldn't that be something? So, Star, if you wanted to say anything more specifically about Bolton Valley, you can take it away. You may have an understanding of where we're at financially, but my understanding is it's happening. It's happening. So if you want to share more on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well, is that they are meeting the financial goals to be able to take ownership of the property and to go ahead and start this site as the very first Ubuntu sacred site in our country. And you know, it's very, very exciting. We're very excited that Michael is going to be in Bolton Valley helping to kick things off. Like I said, helping to really set the intentions for the community and really talk about how to start the initial formation of the community based on contributions and based on the Ubuntu philosophy. And so we're very excited to have Michael himself here to help us do that. We've had a lot of people very interested in what's going on in Vermont. We're going to have more information about that and about much more detailed information about everything that Susan just shared about, including the events in New York, where Michael will be speaking and participating in the Peace Vigil. And then we'll have much more information about the workshop and the festival that will be happening in Bolton Valley. But yes, as far as I know, the last time that I spoke with the community in Bolton Valley, that is already forming. They're already living according to the Ubuntu philosophy and according to contributionism. They're working with local farmers to support everyone in the community. It's a pretty amazing thing, and as Michael has always said, it just takes one town to ignite the fire across the whole country. So, you know, it's going to be a learning process. It's going to be a little bit of trial and error of what works and what doesn't, because we're going to be trying to implement some newer technologies in terms of agriculture, in terms of energy. And you know, we're doing things in a non-traditional way and trying to create a completely self-sustainable community run by the passion of the people. So as I mentioned, we're going to be, you know, hopefully documenting this along the way and sharing it with all of you, so that if you feel inspired to begin this locally or in your community, that you'll be able to do that. We also have an implementation team. Allison is the ambassador of our implementation team. They're a fantastic group of people who are working hard to think through some of the steps that will be involved in forming these communities. So it's all happening. The momentum continues to build. The details seem to be falling synchronistically into place really along the entire way. So I have mentioned this before. I feel that the universe is behind us, and every time we say you know, gosh, we could really use this person or for this to happen, I would say within a matter of days or not more than a week, that seems to manifest for us. So yes, we're very excited about Michael coming. More to come. We'll be posting that on our Facebook page. Our media team is hard at work, and our PR team is hard at work in terms of developing promotion materials for all these events that Michael is a part of, and then of course the events that'll be happening in Bolton Valley. So we hope that you'll come join us, that you'll come and meet Michael. It's not very often that he's here in our country. He will be predominantly on the East Coast for this trip, and we hope that in a future visit that he'll come on over to the West Coast. But for now, you know, we're going to be hosting him for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks that he's here, starting mid-September. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say, Susan? It looks like maybe she dropped off the call.
I think we lost her. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. And Kat, I see Kat's chatting in the dialog box. If there's anything else that you want to add, Kat is our media contact specialist. Oh, there she is. So feel free, Kat, to jump in. And Beth Pollock is our PR ambassador, and everybody has just been working tremendously hard to get these events booked for Michael, for him to be able to come in and speak at these major venues in New York and really raise awareness about Ubuntu and the fact that it's happening now here in our country. And with Bolton Valley coming into fruition even more so, it really is happening, and it's happening now. Susan, was there anything else that you wanted to add? It looks like maybe you dropped off there for a minute. I see that you popped back on. Was there anything else that you wanted to add about the events in the fall? You're muted there. She may not be able to.
Yeah, So sorry, I was lost there for a moment, or at least I was somewhere else, but I just came back on. So I missed I missed what you said. I'm going to give everyone my email. If anyone is in the New York area or region, don't hesitate to contact me. If you're a musician, if you want to be involved with a festival in Bolton Valley, please email me. I'll send my phone number also. This is a great time to gather together. So wherever you are, seriously, a year ago, if I knew this was happening, I would have been in New York City, even though I was living in the Berkshires. But we created it. So please come, come and see Michael. He'd love to see you. He's very, very excited. He's flying all the way from South Africa for these 2 weeks. So it's going to be a very, very powerful time. And of course, with everything going on politically in our world, I mean, look at the timing of this, that we're bringing Michael here, or he's bringing himself, and we're all co-creating this movement. So that's it for me for now. If I think of anything else, I'll raise my hand or shout out to you. But thank you all very, very much. And I'm going to give you my contact info.
Thank you, Susan. So, Allison, did you want to jump on and talk a little bit about the next item?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let me pull this up. I know that we were trying to get things to show up. So a huge, huge shout out to implementation specialist Christine Barbieri from Maryland. She is out and doing presentations for Ubuntu. And she has come up with something that is very workable for all of us in the United States, and it's a great introduction to what Ubuntu is. So if you've asked yourself, I would love, where can I get started, or I want to do a presentation, but I'm not quite sure, are there resources available? Can I practice with someone before I go out in front of people? We talked, and we are putting something together on Wednesday, August 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to come and learn how to do a Ubuntu presentation, Christine and I, she's going to lead it. I'm just going to help her facilitate it. But she's going to share how she's advertised it, where she went. She now has done 2 separate presentations, and I want to say that they've grown, they've at least doubled in attendance, and I actually have a couple pictures of her last presentation. Let me pull that up. They're a little dark. She said, they're not that great, but I thought they were fantastic. So in this picture up here, if you can see where my mouse is, this is Christine, and she's with us tonight. I saw her in the attendance list. So bravo, Christine. I'm so happy that you're out and running and doing this and getting us going in this area. Over here is Christine actually doing a presentation, and then here is her audience for that night. So she is reaching people in her local area, sharing what Ubuntu is in a very practical and very manageable and very easy to understand way that people are joining the circles on Ubuntu Planet. And she is growing the area, and people are ready for this, as you know, and she's reaching the masses, and she wants to share this with you. So I'm going to put in the chat box, and this is also going to come out in the newsletter, which you'll see later this week. Let me grab this, and I'll pop this in here. If this is something you're interested in, this is a separate webinar registration link that you would need to put your information in. We're going to go through step by step what she says during her slides. We're going to ask, you're going to have the ability to ask questions, and from the session we can also, if you want a practice partner, you'll be able to link up with somebody as well if you're really thinking that this is an area of how you want to become engaged in the community. So please join us in a few weeks on the 17th at 8 p.m. If you have any questions, just go ahead and type them in the chat, Christine. I'll ask you to answer anything that might come in. So that was the one thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing I just wanted to mention for all of the core team members is that, just a friendly reminder, I did send an email out. We do have a main filing system now in Google Drive. I'm sharing folders. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just send me an email. And if you're on the core team, if you're on the any of the energy teams, I know Ed, you've been active in your filing system. Cheryl and I have been working together. If you are looking for something, or I put together a little video on how to access things, but if you're not sure what I'm talking about or how to utilize this new filing system, please let me know. You can certainly keep your files somewhere else. We just ask that if you have different documents and things, to also include them in this area too, so Star and and other folks have visibility into and access to the different things that you're working on as appropriate. So just wanted to mention that since we're all together here. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay.
So I guess Cheryl doesn't have a moderator link. So one of the things that is important to us in Ubuntu USA is transparency. So a lot of other organizations or movements there's a lot going on behind closed doors, and there's a little bit of that happening with us when we meet, in our various circles, specialty circles, and have team meetings where we're really hashing out kind of what to do next. But our intention is to be as transparent as possible, and for those of you who are interested in what's happening with Ubuntu, to know what's going on, to be able to jump in and participate if you feel inspired, we plan to carry this through as Ubuntu continues to expand. And as I mentioned, as we begin starting some of these communities, we're going to be documenting the process and sharing that with everybody. So that is the purpose of these meetings. That is the purpose of our newsletter and the materials that we're showing you, because we really want to be as transparent as possible. And if you have specific questions, please feel free to reach out to us or ask on the Facebook page. We are more than happy to connect with you and answer any questions that you might have. So I'll just touch on the last point, which is the volunteer database. So we have established a pretty sizable volunteer database of people who have reached out to us here at Ubuntu USA and expressed an interest in taking part in the movement. And so we've compiled a volunteer database of people based on where they live and what their passion is, in what way they're hoping to serve or contribute. And so for those of you who are serving Ubuntu at the national level, we have many people who are interested and who have the time and energy and would like to contribute. So if you are one of the people running the various areas of focus within the Ubuntu USA movement, and you could use an extra hand, or just like Jessica's message today, I'm going to encourage her to look on the volunteer database. So I would encourage those of you who are leading the circles or are at the national level to access that database for people who are excited and willing and ready to offer their time and energy. And if you, Cheryl will be speaking at the next team meeting about exactly how to access that. If you'd like to get in touch with her before then, just feel free to email her directly, and she can provide information about how to access that right away, so that you can take a look at that list and see if there's someone whose passions match the need that you have. So I think that was the last item on the agenda for everything that we wanted to cover today. Allison or Susan, was there anything else that you felt like you wanted to touch on?
I'm
well,
good
hi,
here, thank you.
This is Susan. There will be a humanities circle on the website. I was working with Sylvia last night, and then when it came to the final button, for whatever reason, it didn't place it on the website. But keep an eye out for this week. Anyone interested in the humanities, in working with various organizations to promote, to be involved with Ubuntu on a local, national scale, I'll have a write-up about the humanities and what we're doing, including creating festivals nationally. So just that. Thank you.
Okay, so the last thing that I'd like to do is actually to lead us through a guided meditation so that we can draw our consciousness together and send the momentum out into our country and beyond for the manifestation of Ubuntu and movement towards a more free and abundant society for us all. So typically that's something that we do at the very beginning, but I wanted to give anyone who is interested an opportunity to jump on. And so I'm going to go ahead and lead us through an exercise, and it is sort of a compassion-based guided meditation. And so I invite all of those of you who feel comfortable participating to go ahead and participate with us in this exercise. And then after it's over, we're going to go ahead and open it up and answer any questions that you might have that was discussed today. So what I'd like everybody to do is just to go ahead and get comfortable where you're sitting, either on the floor or on the piece of furniture that you're sitting on, and just take a moment to really get present. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Notice the sensation of your body sitting, leaning against the floor or the furniture. Notice the clothing on your skin. Maybe you can even notice the sensation of jewelry. And take a few deep breaths to just settle into your body and into the present moment. So just take a moment to observe your breath moving in and out of your body. And I want us all to consciously take that elevator down from our heads and our logical minds that are always trying to solve the problems of the world. Go ahead and take that elevator down to your heart space. Bring your awareness down to your heart center. And if you feel comfortable, I'd like you to place your hands over your heart and to remind yourself that you're bringing not only attention, but loving attention to your experience. Feel the warmth of your hands, the gentle pressure of your hands. Notice how your chest rises and falls with each breath. And now I'd like you to bring to mind a person or other living being who naturally makes you smile. This could be a child, a grandmother, a dog, a cat, whomever naturally brings happiness to your heart. Perhaps it's a bird outside your window. Let yourself feel what it's like to be in that being's presence. Allow yourself to enjoy the good company. And now recognize how vulnerable this loved one is, just like you. Subject to struggle, illness, aging. And this being wishes to be happy and free, just like you and every other living being. And now I'd like you to softly and silently repeat to yourself, feeling the importance of your words. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you live with ease. And now add yourself to this circle of goodwill. Notice your hand over your heart, noticing the warmth and gentle pressure. And say to yourself, may you and I be safe. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be free and abundant. May you and I live with ease. And now I want you to expand your awareness to all hearts, not only across this country, not only across this planet, all beings, all hearts. And noticing your heart-centered awareness. Repeat silently to yourself, may we be safe. May we be peaceful. May we be free and abundant. May we live in unity with ease. May we live each day in joy. And so it is. And now take a few breaths, noticing the warmth of your heart space. Noticing the compassion that naturally flows from your heart. Take a moment to just observe your breath. Sending love to the world with a vision of freedom and abundance for all beings. And now take one deep breath. Begin to bring yourself back to your room, noticing your body, noticing any sounds that you may notice in the room. And I want to thank each and every one of you for participating in helping us to create a new world. So thank you to everyone for participating in that guided exercise. As many of us know, putting out the energetic parameters for this manifestation is just as important, if not more important, than the action steps that we're taking as a team day by day. And so that is also something that you can be doing. Any of you can be visualizing this free, abundant world where all of us get to live according to our passions and freedom. We get to wake up and be free and live in a way that lights us up, connected to each other in peace. So I want to open it up at this point for anyone to ask questions about any of the content that we covered today. I didn't see any questions. What campfire? So let me know if there are any questions. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll wrap up the meeting for today. Okay, Harry, thank you. How do I access the presentation materials? Okay, here come the questions. All right, I just needed to pause for a moment. Thank you. Allison, would you mind just reiterating how to access the presentation materials? I know that you posted the link, but it may have gotten lost in all the chatting. Would you mind revisiting that for us?
Absolutely. So the link that went out was actually the link to register for the webinar to go over the presentation materials. I'm not sure if Jeff Henry is here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll include that link in the notes that come out with the recording. So in about 24 hours, within 24 hours after we close here, we'll send out some notes, and I'll make sure that either Jeff has it on the website and I will send his link through, because not only will it have the PowerPoint presentation, it will also have pamphlets and flyers and all kinds of things that have already been created for you to use at your disposal. So you can see the presentation that Christine is using in her area, and it's pretty much ready to go. You might want to modify the pictures for your local area in one part of the PowerPoint, but otherwise it is something that's usable for all. But we'll get that to you in the notes. Jeff just wants to load it to his website.
So we'll have that for you very shortly. Can anyone who contributed to Bolton visit? So any of you, whether you contributed or not, you can go and visit Bolton Valley. They're actually up and running right now, and they have lodging available. I believe that there's 400 rooms, and Susan, feel free to jump in and correct me, but it is a functioning lodge and has been, and it's just being, the ownership is being changed, and it's going to be converted into a self-sustainable community governed by Ubuntu principles. So you can go now and stay there and meet some of the people that are going to be forming the initial community. You just Google Bolton Valley. I think it's Lotus Lodge Inn, I believe, is the name of the lodge that is currently there. So you can, any of you can go, and we hope that those of you who are interested will join us when Michael visits at the end of September, because that's going to be a really special event, having Michael speaking there, and really, you know, having him there to help us launch the very first community and help us, as I said, set intentions for the evolution of the community there. So Nicola's asking, are those who have attended Michael Tellinger's presentations here in the United States on the volunteer database? No, so you are on the volunteer database if you have contacted us directly. Everybody who sends emails out to us, we try to respond within a somewhat timely manner, so within a couple of days. And you know, we will start a dialogue with you about what your passions are and how you feel inspired to be part of the movement. And if there is not an immediate placement for you within the team as it's functioning now, then we place you on within the volunteer database, and then we'll contact you as needs come up for volunteers. As we're going into the fall and some of these events are coming into formation, we will need many more volunteers. We will need many more boots on the ground. So if you're currently on the volunteer list and feel like, well, you know, it's been a while and they haven't contacted me, you can expect that we may be contacting you soon. We've been in the process of really setting up the infrastructure for this movement to be solid and be sound as we move forward, and before Michael was able to come here and really start speaking publicly about Ubuntu and about the USA movement. So we do expect that after his visit that the awareness of Ubuntu is going to increase drastically. So feel free to reach out to Cheryl. I've put her email in the chat box there if you feel like you're interested in volunteering or you feel like you have a special skill or talent that you'd like to offer to the team. Let's see. So Joseph is asking libertarian registration. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that question. If you want to expand on that a little bit, I'm happy to answer that for you. Crystal's asking, will we get notified when the festival will be in Bolton Valley? Yes, so we do have the dates planned. Susan, I think you said that the festival was going to be on the Sunday of that weekend that Michael's there in Bolton Valley. Is that correct?
Yes, Sunday, October 2.
October 2nd?
Correct.
Okay. So Michael will be in Bolton Valley, I think, starting on the 30th, and so he'll be there the 30th, 1st, and 2nd, with the festival being on the 2nd. And the 1st will be an all-day workshop by Michael there in Bolton Valley. And then hopefully we're going to be putting together a meet and greet dinner on Friday, the 30th. So many more details are coming. As I said, our media and PR team are furiously working on announcement materials and press kits and things like that to make announcements. And so we just wanted those of you who are interested to have the dates available. And as soon as we have more information, we'll be releasing that out to you as soon as possible. So I'm just trying to follow the questions here. So Kathy, I love your suggestion of broadcasting the workshop in Vermont as a fundraiser. That's an excellent suggestion, and it's very likely that we'll do that. That we'll try to figure out how to live stream it so that people who are not able to travel to Bolton Valley will be able to participate and access the event for a small fee. So we will definitely look into that. That's an excellent suggestion. Thank you. And Kathy's also asking, how do we begin to acknowledge to others the Ubuntu program? Is it recommended we start politically, maybe a local position? So it depends on what you're inspired by. We recommend that you follow your heart. We recommend that you follow your passion. And if you are interested in going the political route and seeking out a local position in your community where you could enter into that position and work to implement Ubuntu principles, we would encourage you to follow that. There are many, many other ways of participating in Ubuntu. One way that we just mentioned was by setting out the energetic intentions for this change to happen, by visualizing this future being done now, and visualizing a country and a world, a peaceful world where everyone is free and abundant and gets to live according to their passions and according to what lights them up. Another way that you can participate, Allison mentioned, which is by just going into your local community, meeting up with small groups of people, which often end up growing into bigger and bigger and bigger groups of people as the word spreads, and just teaching people about Ubuntu. And as we've mentioned, we have presentation materials. We have a PowerPoint presentation put together. I believe we also have some flyers. And so you can just, even if it just starts with a small group of 3 or 4 friends, and you're talking to them about what Ubuntu is and how it functions, and just really starting to teach people about Ubuntu, that's a great way to get involved. And I think a lot of people are already doing that all across the country is that they're meeting up in small groups and just starting to talk, starting to build the momentum of this unity consciousness and starting to put it into action at the local level. So to answer your question, it's going to be however you're inspired to participate. You know, we're always interested in people helping at the national level, but it's going to be just as important, if not more important, to be doing the work at the local level and to just start talking about Ubuntu and educating people about this other possibility, this other option, this other way of living. And I think that a lot of people feel very frustrated by the political process that's happening right now and feeling sort of stuck and not really knowing who to choose, who to go for. And you know, that's why we're trying to tell people that there is an alternative, and we're trying to build up the Ubuntu political party so that there is an alternative for people. If you're having difficulty figuring out how to contribute, just message us, email us, connect with us. We can help you to do that. That's what we love doing, is helping you to figure out how you can live according to your passions and serve Ubuntu and the movement of contributionism at the same time. So I think I've lost. Okay, here we go. Okay, Jeff, that's awesome. Okay, so Jeff just posted the link with resources, and he'll be adding the PowerPoint in the next day or two. So you can go to this website, ubuntuplanetusa.com, and there are lots of resources there for you. We're going to be adding to that constantly. We're going to be providing as many resources as possible so that you can just take our resources and share the message in your local community. Harry's asking, is there a guide to start an Ubuntu community? So that's an excellent question, Harry. So one of our implementation specialists, Jeff Henry, which maybe, Jeff, we should have you come back. A few meetings ago, Jeff came on and spoke about the implementation process, starting with an assessment of the community resources, because to be able to start a community, you really need to evaluate what are the resources that are in place currently, what do we need to make this a functioning, self-sustainable community. And so he has developed an entire assessment to be able to see where the focus needs to be first. Where do we need to prioritize to help this community start to build itself up and to bolster itself up. And Jeff's awesome. He's working with several Native American tribes in New Mexico and Arizona, and working with them to educate them in the Ubuntu philosophy and starting to evaluate their communities in this way. So if you're interested in learning more about how to start a local community, feel free to reach out to Jeff, and he can provide those resources for you. I'm not sure, Jeff, if you would you be willing to put the assessment on the website? That might be helpful for people as well. We'll put as many materials out as we can so that those of you who are interested or feel inspired to work on this at a local level, that you have our support in that. Crystal's asking, who can I email about the event September 30th? Uh-oh, so Kirk's saying I froze. So hopefully you guys, hopefully you heard most of what I was saying. You get the gist of it. You can email Susan Jameson about the event September 30th. You can also, oh, there we go, Susan. Okay, sorry, I'm scrolling through all the comments and trying to catch up. So, so for those of you who are interested in the events that are happening either in New York City or in Bolton Valley with Michael Tellinger, please email Susan Jameson directly. She would love to connect with you, especially if you're in the New York area, because we would love to have support, and you'd have the opportunity to meet Michael Tellinger in person. So please reach out to Susan. And like I said, there's going to be very soon, we're going to be releasing more details and some announcements, some official announcements about these events that Michael is speaking at, and also about the events that are going to be occurring in Bolton Valley. So just stay plugged in. We'll be sending out the information via the newsletter and then also on our Facebook page for those of you who are connected to Facebook. So, are there any other questions? I'm not seeing any. Allison, are there any other points that I missed or questions that I may have missed?
No, I was watching. I think you got the majority of them. If you didn't, people are following up. I know I saw Kirk is following up with someone. Jeff is following up with another person. So I think you've covered everything, Star.
Great. Okay. Well, we absolutely love hosting these meetings. You know, we are the people for the people. You know, we are just like you, and we want a better world. And so we're always really excited to connect and share with all of you, and we're hoping that you'll help us to continue to spread the message and to spread the Ubuntu consciousness, especially into our country. More and more and more people are starting to awaken to this new way of life. And we're very excited, as I mentioned, about some of these things actually coming into manifestation very quickly. I mean, we started the USA movement maybe 6 months ago, and we've already got our first site that's in formation, and several others that are not going to be far behind. So the momentum is moving quite quickly, and as I mentioned, once Michael comes here in the fall and begins speaking at these very public venues in New York and in Bolton Valley, and we can broadcast some of those things, I think that the movement is really going to take off. So we're very happy that you're here with us. Please feel free to reach out to us. We're always monitoring the Facebook page, or feel free to connect with us directly through our website, which is usa.ubuntuplanet.org. And so you can go on to there. We have a contact us link, so you can feel free to just go onto our website and email us directly, or feel free to email any of the team members here who have offered their emails up to you. So again, thank you so much. We're going to be hosting these collaboration meetings once a month, giving you updates about what's going on in the movement and sharing information about where we're headed next and what's happening. And so we hope that you'll continue to join us. We'll be making an announcement. Allison, do we have a date set for the next one yet?
Yes, but here is the great news, and I can find that out. If you are registered for this session, you are registered for all of the sessions from now until the end of the year, but I can tell you I'm looking at the calendar, and it's August 28th. So there's no need to register. You'll start to get emails closer to that time. It's always the last Sunday of the month.
Great. Okay. So last Sunday of the month. Wonderful. So feel free to join us. Feel free to connect with us. We're here for you. We're very excited about what's happening, and it's only going to keep moving forward from here. So thanks to all of you who participated tonight. Keep holding the vision for us all, and start in your local communities by spreading the word. So thank you so much for attending, and we will see you all next month. Goodbye, everybody.
Take care.